Hey guys, I wanted to film a very detailed tutorial of my whole entire face. So I'm walking you through brows, eyes, complexion, lips, everything. So this is probably going to be a very long video, so get your snacks and your drinks or get your tools and all your makeup and you can follow along with me or whatever you want to do. The look I did today, I'm going to a haunted house tonight, so I wanted to do something kind of fun and smoky and fallish, and got my fall clothes on and all that. So we are doing like a coppery red look, and I really do enjoy it with my hazel eyes. So you know, these are my favorite colors to wear, so whatever favorite colors you like wearing, you can pull those out. If you like wearing purples or smoky grays or whatever colors you like. So yeah, I'm mostly kind of focusing this tutorial on the details of everything that I do with my eye looks and all that. So yeah, let's get into this tutorial. Alright guys, we'll start off by priming our lids. And I'm going to a haunted house tonight, so I kind of need this to last. Not that it really matters, it's going to be dark, but you know, I like to look presentable. So I'm just going to prime my lids, and I am using my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in Eden. This is just the matte white light skin colored one. I almost called this Flesh, but Flesh is like any skin color. But yeah, this is just the lightest skin tone looking one they have. I heard that they're coming out with a white primer. So white primers usually make your shadows more vibrant. So I'm kind of interested in that. That might be a good thing to buy when this one's all done, but I do like using eyeshadow primer on my nose, so I like to kind of make it match my skin tone a little bit if I can. I'm going to use this to prime my nose. This is how I keep makeup on my nose, is using my eyeshadow primer. So, and then to blend this out, I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just pat. Okay, so this is the Ulta Liquid Correcting Concealer in Peach. This is what I'm using to do some color correction of under my eyes. I usually kind of just focus it in this area the most, and I usually just use my finger to blend this out with, and I just pat it out. So my acne usually leaves dark spots. Can't really see them right now too much, but I do have some dark spots, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this to get those covered up. I figured since this covers darkness under your eyes, this will cover the dark spots for your acne, and it seems to be working out pretty well. And I'm just taking my ring finger again and blending this out. Okay, so for brows, I have kind of gone through my brows before, but I pretty much just brush them up like a crazy old person brow. They actually really do need to be plugged and shaped a little bit. They're not looking so hot right now, but we're just gonna do what we can do. And so for my brows, I'm using the NYX Taming Frame, and I have the color Espresso, and this was starting to get dry on me a couple days ago. So what I did is I just took my finger and just really rubbed it in there and kind of made it not as dry anymore. I'm kind of just, it looks like I'm dipping a lot, but I only grab like a little bit at a time. But I'm just kind of like going along the bottom and outlining them a little bit. And then I go along the top and outline it. This is hard to do because I don't know like where to put. I'm not in my normal comfort zone of brow doing, but so I just recently picked up this palette. This is Juvia's Place. This is a Nubian palette. I don't know how to say that, but it's the teal color one, and this one is the one with all the warm tones in it, because that is my color palette. That's the colors that I really enjoy wearing. So that's the palette I'm going to be using today. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking my It Cosmetics Fluffy Brush, and I'm going to take this orange color here. I filmed this look the other day, and I really liked how it turned out, but I couldn't finish the video because I had to be somewhere, and I have to be somewhere again, and I feel like I'm rushing right now, but I have like a little more time. Not much though. So anyway, I'm just taking this in my crease, a little bit above my crease. This is just a matte orange color, and I'm pretty much just lightly buffing it in. I'm taking it all the way in, and you know your crease is like when your eye is closed, it's what you can see, and when you open it, it's that deepest part in your eye. So some people have very deep creases, some people don't, so it's just kind of, you know, playing around with your eye looks and seeing what looks best on you. So there's that. I think I'm even going to take it on the lower lash line, so I'm just taking the same big brush. If you're kind of a new makeup person, you may not want to do this because it could get kind of messy, but I've been doing this for a while, so I'm just gonna take that under the lower lash line. So I'm pretty much gonna be doing the same to the lower lash line as the upper lash line, or upper eye. Pretty much gonna be doing the same thing. I think I'm gonna have to close those windows because you can probably hear that car. Alright, and then I'm going to take a cream shadow stick on my lid area. This looks crazy. I look crazy right now. This is the Ulta cream shadow and liner in Smart Cookie, and it has one of these little sharpeners. Doesn't really need to be sharpened, but you know, like sometimes when you use cream shadows and you can see like other stuff transferring onto them, and it's not the true color it should be, so that's why I just did a little sharpening sharp, and I'm just kind of patting this out with my finger to kind of just blend it in a little bit. I'm gonna put a shadow on top of it. Okay, so going back into the Juvia's Place palette, I'm going to take this very shimmery bronze copper color right here, and I'm taking it on the Instapot brush, the one that is a little bit bigger than the one in the other kit. It comes as a kit. This is the bigger one, and I am just going to pat this color on top of that cream shadow to really make it pop. This is more of a coppery looking color than the bronze looking color, but I put these two together the other night and it just looked really pretty, so that's what we're doing again. I'm taking the tip of it and I'm just gonna deepen that up right in the crease, so you know, right basically where you can't see too much of it, but I felt like it made a big difference of kind of deepening that up, you know, if you look down or look the other way or something. And you know, don't worry if this area is getting all messy out here, because we're going to clean that up with concealer. And then just kind of, I think I'm going to make sure I really get this by my lash line, so I'm just taking that tip of this brush again and just really patting it on that lash line area. I want that to be very vibrant. That night I took the red color next to it, so it's kind of like a monochromatic look, so I took that red color right there, and I did take it on this brush here, but I think I'm going to try it on this brush. So this is the Essence Smoky brush, and it's just a nice, precise, smoky brush. For me, it's perfect of doing this outer corner into the V area. I think it's perfect for that, so I'm just gonna kind of build it up there, just slowly build it up. And I am gonna take this just a tiny bit above the crease on that outer portion so that you can see it. Sometimes, depending on your skin tone, you have to be careful with red colors. So it could make you look like you have pink eye instead of a beautiful. So, you know, you just have to pick colors that you enjoy best on you. So, I love these colors on me. I'm just going to go back in with that orange color, that matte orange color, with that same fluffy brush. And I'm just going to kind of add some more of that because we lost a little bit of it, and this is going to help blend your shadows a little bit more. You take this NYX Gold, this is a professional makeup slide-on, glide-on pencil, and this is the color Glitzy Gold or Glamour. So I don't know if in other countries it's something else. The number is SL18. So I'm going to take that in my waterline. And then I'm going to take this crayon again, and I'm going to do this just on the lash line, as close as to the lashes as possible, just to deepen that up, give it a little more definition. And if you mess up, you can just clean up. Alright, so to work on the lower lash line, I'm going to go in with that very shimmery copper color again with this brush, and I'm going to take I'm just dipping, let's see if I can do this. I'm just dipping the tip in it. And just smudging that in. Where you kind of have to be careful because sometimes it can look like you have pink eye instead of a beautiful coppery look. If you need like drops to whiten your eyes, which I probably do, you can do that so it doesn't pull the red out in your eyes so much, because it definitely will pull red out in your eyes. I have like hazel eyes. I'm pretty sure I have heterochromia. One eye is usually lighter than the other, but when I looked up hazel eyes, typically people with hazel eyes have heterochromia, and it's not really a big deal, but I'm pretty sure I have it. So one eye is always lighter than the other. It's kind of hard to tell, but in my pictures that I post on Instagram, I can usually tell. So colors like this in hazel eyes look really good because it will really pull that green and red are on the opposite color spectrum. So it will really pull out the green in your hazel eyes, and I have more green in my hazel eyes. So I'm going in with that red color next to the copper color. And I'm just taking a little tiny bit on this brush, and I'm going to kind of focus that in the center a little bit more. So not so much out here, but just kind of in the center a little bit more. And I'm putting just a very small amount because this color is very red. But it is a nice satin kind of color, so really kind of, you know, softens the look a little bit because the color next to it is very shimmery, like it's a chunky glitter. So now I'm going to kind of start working on the complexion, Usually I have some makeup wipes that I would take to kind of clean this up, but I don't have any. I really need to get some. For foundation, I am taking the Ulta Moisturizing Foundation Stick. This is color light to medium cool. This is a pretty good, decent match for me, actually. So, and it is a moisturizing foundation stick, but it's not like crazy dewy or anything. It's like a satin natural finish. I do take it on my neck because it might be like a little bit pink on me, but once you get it blended, it's a pretty dead match for me. As you can see, I didn't put any directly on my nose, but I am going over my nose with whatever's on the brush. And I'm just kind of buffing this in. This is like medium, light medium buildable coverage, and I do have oily combo skin. So normal skin, I do get oily on my cheeks and forehead and nose and chin area a little bit, but sometimes I get dry from acne products that I use, or weather changes, or hormonal changes, whatever is kind of going on with me. So my skin's kind of all over the place, but usually it's pretty normal. I do suffer from acne and all that kind of stuff, but right now it's not looking too bad. So always make sure you kind of go over your ears too a little bit, because you don't want that weird line of stuff. This does look really pale on me, but in the viewfinder, I don't know why it looks like, I don't know if I need to turn down my white balance or something, but in person it really doesn't look too bad. So I'm just going to build it up in the areas, like my cheeks are usually pretty red and discolored, so I usually just build it up there. My chin usually has breakouts and whatnot, but right now it's just red and discolored and has a few dark spots on it. Okay, so for concealer, breakouts look pretty concealed. So for concealer, I'm going to use the Ulta Full Coverage Liquid Concealer. So this is the skin tone one. This is in light cool, and this one is pretty good match for me. So I don't mind putting on this after my foundation. I think I'm actually really good. That color corrector really helped get some of that darkness down, so I think I'm just going to conceal my eyes today with this. Little tip too is to take your foundation brush with nothing on it and kind of blend out the edges of that concealer a little bit more, so it's not as harsh, and you know, it's a bigger brush, so it kind of blends things out a little bit quicker. And you know, whatever's left on it kind of blends with that concealer a little bit. And then to set it, I usually like to set my concealer right away. I sometimes kind of pat it out with my finger. And I'm taking this It Cosmetics concealer brush, the Live Beautifully collection, the more expensive one, and I'm taking the Rimmel Stay Matte Translucent Powder, and I'm just going to set those under eyes before they even have a chance to crease, and I'm even going to go up here above the brow a little bit to kind of soften that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It bronzer. The lid broke off of this, but that's okay. And I have the color Light 01. And I'm taking my It Cosmetics angled brush, and this is kind of like a taupey shimmer. This does have some shimmer in it, so if you don't want your bronzer to have shimmer in it, then, you know, you won't like this. But I like to have a little sheen in it because I don't necessarily contour. I just like to warm up my complexion. It's getting blurry when I blend, sorry. But I'm just taking this on my forehead, And on my temples, I just bring it down. I really make sure I'm getting into my hairline area. Since my hair is pulled back, you can really see that area, so I'm really making sure I'm getting into that. And then I'm going in kind of like the hollows of my cheeks, so I'm looking for where my ear, the little part, you know, like if you pierce that part of your ear, it supposedly helps with migraines. I'm looking for that part and kind of lining it up a little bit. And then I'm just kind of softly, very softly putting this on in that area. I'm going to take a little on my chin. I don't take it all the way. I'm not going to take it all the way under today. I do. I don't know, I might. But I am at least going to go right here. So right where your lobe is, that's where I'm going to put it. And sometimes whatever's left on the brush, I will just kind of take it down my neck just to make everything cohesive. And if you want to just do a very light dusting on the sides of the nose, and I learned from Wayne Goss, who's a makeup artist, that it looks more natural to do the bridge of your nose right here with a contour color, because that's where the sun hits you, or bronzer color or whatever. So I'm just very lightly taking that right there. So pretty light, and you know, if you mess up, you can take whatever setting powder or wet skin toned colored powder and kind of clean it up. This is the Becca Cream Highlighter. This is like one of their little travel size. I've had this thing forever. Probably too old to be using, but still works good. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit, but you can buy this in Ulta in the travel size section, and I can link everything down below. Everything that I link down below will typically take you to Ulta. There's two things that you cannot find at Ulta. That's the bronzer and the Rimmel powder that I use. Ulta stopped carrying Rimmel, and then the bronzer powder you can only find at Walmart. So anyway, this is Becca Opal highlighter, and I'm just going to take, this is a very pigmented highlighter, so I'm taking a very small amount, and then I'm taking my Eco Tools sponge, and I'm taking the bottom side of it actually, and I'm just going to blend it out. And I know this is kind of controversial, but I am going to put a little bit on my nose because this is a fun look. On the tip of my nose, I'm just going to blend it out really good. I know some people go a little crazy there, but I'm going to blend mine out really well. So there's that. We'll take a little on the Cupid's bow. We're going to take, this is just, you know, these two come as a kit. Typically, you can find them at Ulta or Sephora as a kit in the travel section. So this is the Becca Opal Powder Highlighter. And I am just going to take my NYX angled brush. I love using this for highlight, especially pigmented highlights, because it just blends them out really nice. So I'm just going to put this where we put that cream highlighter. So on top of your cheekbone, so the very bony part of your cheek, that's where you're going to put this. You can use your fingers to feel it, so mine's right here. And remember, you just have to do what you think looks best on you. So, you know, if you're not really a highlight person, you have pretty oily skin, you don't have to use highlight. So, nose and bridge a little bit. This is a little bright, so we're just going to kind of blend it a little bit more with the side that I didn't put any product on. And then Getting it there. Okay, so there's that. And now we're moving on to blush. I'm taking the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush. This is Warm Hibiscus, or also known as PB4. So I don't know if, I'm pretty sure she probably keeps her name cohesive in other countries. I don't know where else. Flower Beauty's by Drew Barrymore. I don't know if she sells in Canada or not, but I'm taking my Sigma tapered F35 brush and going into this blush. This blush is like a pinky, has gold in it, and ooh. I'm still working on trying to find the perfect place for my blush. Sometimes I feel like I have it down and sometimes I'm like, no. So I actually got a little bit too much, but that's okay. We can fix that. To fix that, I'm just going to take this brush with nothing on it and just kind of blend it a little bit more. It's always good to kind of have a nice big brush like this, a clean one, to fix any mistakes like that. So there you go, it's a little bit more blended. Next step is to set. I usually like to set my face before I put on mascara and stuff like that, because I hate that like sometimes it clumps together. So I'm going to take my setting sprays. I'm going to usually kind of smooth everything down first. I do like a 3-step system set, a little bit extravagant, but this is what I like to do, especially if I want my makeup to last a long time, or you know, it just needs to be smoothed down. So I'm taking the Makeup Revolution Pro Aqua Priming Base. So this is technically a priming spray, but this will really smooth everything down. So I really make sure my face is really kind of soaked with this. That setting spray or priming spray is kind of like a dupe to the Smashbox one. It's like the drugstore version of it. I've never personally used the Smashbox one because I have a hard time thinking about spending money on something that has glycerin in it basically as the first ingredient. So I'm just not willing to shell that out for that. So anyway, I just use that one. That one works out really good to kind of smooth everything down. If you look super powdery, it kind of takes down that super powderiness. So I just took my Real Techniques powder brush. I feel like I have a hair on my eyelash. And I just kind of set that down, and now I'm just going to let my face dry a little bit before I put on my translucent powder, which will kind of lighten up anything that needs to be toned down a little bit. So, you know, maybe like the nose highlight needs to be toned down a little bit, and need to bring some brightness back into the center of my forehead. And then also, before I forget, we're also going to do the brow bone highlight and the inner corner highlight. Almost forgot that. So that's pretty much dry, so I'm going to take my Real Techniques powder brush again and my Rimmel Stay Matte powder and just powder the forehead, powder my whole nose because this does get oily, and I'm just taking a little bit, and you see it kind of toned down that a little bit. I'm going to take the smaller version of the Instapot brush, and I am going to take this very first color next to the matte orange color in this Juvia's palette, Juvia's Place palette. This is like a very pink, it's like, it's a duochrome. It definitely has pink in it, but it's like a beige pink. So I'm taking that in my inner corner and a little bit down on that lash line, and I'm really gonna pack this in there because it's really gonna bring some lightness back into the eye, so you can kind of see the difference. This eye looks a little bit lighter. And we're going to take the Sigma brush, this big fluffy one, because we're going to just lightly buff this. I'm not taking very much at all, but we're just going to lightly do this on the brow bone. And put just a tiny, just kind of focus a little bit more on that outer portion of my brow, so at the end of my brow, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it, whatever's left, just kind of blend everything together. Once we set everything down, it's pretty much locked in and down, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take the Real Technique or Makeup Revolution Sport Fix Extra Hold Spray. This stuff is like hairspray for your face, like your look will pretty much look the same. So I'm just gonna hold it way out and lightly mist my face. Okay, so for my brows, I've been using this again. I think I need a darker product, but this is the Essence Make Me Brow. This is a brow gel mascara. This is the color Blondie Brows, which I think I need a darker color. I think this is too light, but I'm going to, this almost gives my brows almost like a little highlighted effect. I'm going to just kind of lightly brush this through my brows. If I feel like my brows are too dark, I really enjoy using that product to kind of lighten them a little bit. And this does oxidize a little bit, so it does get a little bit darker the more it sets, but I really think I need a darker color in this for me to really like it. So for mascara, I usually like to take a mascara primer. This is the Essence Volume Boost Lash Primer with Super Volume Fruits. I wasn't going to buy this because I was concerned it would have a fragrance. And it does have a fragrance. It does kind of smell like fruity mango. But I'm going to use this first, and I'll give you my opinion on this while I'm using it. This primer is very pigmented, so it's very white. It is like a very white primer. So make sure you find a dark mascara to cover this up. Like a very black mascara, the blackest mascara you can think of, to cover this primer up, because it is very pigmented white. Okay, so the mascara I'm going to use is also an Essence mascara. I really do enjoy Essence mascaras in general. I love the price point, and they are actually really good. And you have to change your mascara every 3 months or sooner anyway, so buying a high-end mascara is just not worth it for me. I've done it before. I've bought the Benefit Roller Lash. Love it, but it's really not worth the money because it dries out so quick, or, you know, you have to change it out every 3 months anyway. So anyway, this is the Essence Get Big Lashes. This is the one that is advertised as triple black. I do have a little bit of an easier time covering this up with this mascara in particular, but it does take some time. So this is a big natural bristled hairbrush, very large, so you know, if you're kind of new at this, this will have a little bit of a learning curve because it is so large. I usually get mascara on my eyelids anyway because I have very long lashes, but it's really not a big deal. You can just clean it up. So the part I struggle with this primer is the tips of my lashes. That's where I really struggle the most to get this covered up. This is the Ulta Beauty Gel eyeliner in the color Plum, and this is just a nice purpley color, and I am just going to take this on my upper waterline, lash line, tight line area. I'm not taking it on the lower or anything. It can transfer down there. It usually does, so it kind of, you know, makes it look a little nice and smoky and more defined looking. So that eye is done, you can kind of tell it does look a little bit more defined. I'm going to try and keep it pretty simple for lips because my lips are dry. I don't really wear too much like lipstick and matte lipstick and stuff like that, but I'm going to line my lips, and the lip liner I'm going to use is the Flower Beauty lip liner. This is the Petal Pout lip liner in Rose. Okay, so I'm just going to take this Neutrogena Moisture Color Stick. I have the color Soft Raspberry, number 60, and this has some sheen to it. I'm going to go ahead and add this nudie Mary Kay color. This is the Mary Kay Nourishine Plus Gloss in Sun Blossom. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. So here is the look. I'm all dressed in my clothes and ready to go. I have to cook dinner actually. I feel like I'm like running like ah! So here is the finished look. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Hopefully, you know, the detail that I gave was helpful and you're able to follow along, or, you know, watch it and then try it yourself and use what you have. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, live life in full bloom, and I will see you guys later. Bye.